Hello, my fellow vegan friends. I am Ken from the Vegan Strength Academy. In this free course, I'm going to show you exactly how to go from skinny fat to lean, strong, and vegan fit in 90 days or less without starving yourself, giving up all that delicious vegan foods, or living on that Stairmaster. We'll cover the three pillars that actually drive vegan body recomposition, which is fitness, nutrition, and mindset. These are the same steps that I used, that Tara used, to transform our own bodies when nothing else was working. Even though we were training 6 days per week, we were doing CrossFit, severe calorie restriction. This method is built on science and lots of experience. It's helped hundreds of vegans go from soft and frustrating to strong, confident, and energized without restriction, without cutting amazing vegan foods that we have, and without endless amounts of cardio. So if you're someone who's been putting in the work but not seeing the results, this course is for you. So let's break down what works specifically for vegan men and women and how to apply it starting today. So here's a little bit of our story, why things work. In 2018, about 8 years ago, Tara and I were eating very, very low calories. I was eating under 1,600 calories per day. Tara was eating under 1,200 calories per day, and we were doing cardio daily. We were doing, like I said earlier, 6 workouts per week, lots of cardio and hardly any food, and we were holding on to so much excess body fat. Despite being, competitive athletes, we were very skinny fat. We were low in muscle, high in fat with no results. So we got fed up. We decided to get as much education, as much training and experience as possible. I got certified in strength training. Tara got certified in vegan nutrition. Now with over 23 certs, we decided to create our own workout program. We had amazing mentorship from top trainers and coaches in the world, from multiple Fortune 500 companies, and even with help and education with Cornell University. So with all of this, we built a system that prioritized strength, sustainable eating, and science-backed strategy. And after implementing our new VSA method in 2021, within 3 months, we were no longer starving ourselves and doing cardio, and we looked like completely different people. We lost a lot of fat, gained a lot of muscle in a way we have never previously been able to do, with all the running and dieting that we've been doing over the years. Here is a photo of both Tara and I here. So since then, we were able to implement this VSA and did all that in 2021. This approach is now the proven program that the VSA method, that's what we have inside of our Vegan Strength Academy. We've been helping over 140 vegans beat skinny fat in 90 days or less without cutting out their favorite foods or doing tons and tons of cardio, and of course, cruelty-free, no animals harmed during all these gains. Our VSA clients have gone on to win triathlons. They've won national medals in pickleball, volleyball, and even became certified coaches themselves, bringing the knowledge they learned to bigger audiences and becoming a true example of what it means to thrive as a vegan and inspire those around them. Since then, Tara has also recently, she has won her pro card in bodybuilding. She is now a vegan natural professional bodybuilder. I am on the road to the stage. I am a vegan natural amateur bodybuilder. I'm going to compete later on this year. So the Vegan Strength Academy is now today recognized as the go-to resource for vegans who want to lose fat, build strength, and thrive as plant-based athletes, vegan fit. Here we see Ms. Kimberly lost 22.5 pounds and 6 inches off her waist, down 28 pounds and 4 inches off his waist, and here down 8 pounds and 3 inches off of her waist. Pretty awesome stuff. All right. So what is the VSA method, right? What is the Vegan Strength Academy method? We use a 3-pillar framework. So this isn't about eating clean and running more, right? It's about creating the environment where your vegan body has no choice but to get leaner and to get stronger. Mindset, fitness, nutrition, right? VSA. The mindset and fitness gives you the V, which is vitality, is like the consistency. Vitality literally means being strong, active, and full of energy, both mentally and physically. And you know that it takes vegans up to 2 times longer to see results. So here you lock in. And then with mindset and nutrition, this is the S, which is sustainability. Sustainability, that restrictive diets and restriction in general leads to skinny fat as a vegan. So now you can start fueling properly and sustainably to build muscle and burn fat. No more yo-yoing results, right? No more starting and stopping on your health. And then lastly here we have the fitness and nutrition, which gives us the A, which is athleticism. Athleticism is the results. Now that you have the mindset, you can actually follow a vegan-specific plan long enough to see these real results, these real lifelong results. You'll look and feel like a vegan athlete. So think of that as those results. So vitality is your consistency, sustainability, and then athleticism is your results. So the first thing we need to do is update your belief system. You've probably followed plans that were meant for the general population where the average person eats the standard American diet, lots of meat, lots of dairy, very high calorie, very low volume-ish foods. Or perhaps you even tried some vegan programming and they're more on the cookie cutter side and they're just telling you to up your cardio and eat more salad. So it's no wonder why you're frustrated. You need to start with your belief system. And the truth is, there is nothing wrong with your metabolism. You can build muscle and lose fat at any age, even with PCOS, Hashimoto's, or other challenges. You don't need to eat less, you need to eat smart, and you need to train intentionally. Your body doesn't need a new diet, it needs the new plan. So your new belief system as a fit vegan is you're not a victim, and you can absolutely and you will build muscle and you lose weight with the plan that is made for your body, with nutrition needs and the metabolism of a vegan. You just need a plan that fits your vegan lifestyle and your body composition goals. So yes, absolutely, vegans can build muscle. Vegans can burn fat without giving up their favorite foods, without animal products, all cruelty-free. You can increase your metabolism at any age. It's literally never too late. When it comes to weight loss, vegans just require a different approach. And this course will teach you that approach. With this vegan-specific approach, this method that we have, you can increase your metabolism to burn fat 24/7 instead of restricting your food and increasing cardio. So this method works because it's tailored to vegan physiology and performance nutrition. Understanding the science behind your vegan metabolism and why you need a different approach will motivate you to do things different, and you will finally see results. With results comes more motivation, right? All right, so let's understand your vegan metabolism a little bit. Most vegans out there, they undereat protein and they overdo it on fats and carbs. The result is low muscle, slow metabolism, and very, very high fatigue. Your metabolism shows when you lose muscle, not because you're getting older. Your metabolism slows when you lose muscle, not because you're getting older. We need to build more lean muscle mass and eat to support it, not fear food. This course teaches you how to flip that script with that belief that, our metabolism is broken and that we cannot build any more muscle. So we need to flip that script by learning the fundamentals of vegan body recomposition. When you pair the underfuel, the low protein, the high fats, especially for people that are trying to get strong and fit, with too much cardio, random workouts, the results are just very, very often the same and leads to that skinny fat physique, which we do not want. We do not want to be part of that stereotype. As you can see here, this is a Harvard study on body fat percentage and metabolism in vegans. So clearly, the higher body fat percentages, particularly visceral fat. Visceral fat is the fat that accumulates around the organs. This is very dangerous. So if you want to eat healthy, this is the first thing to be. If you want to be healthy, visceral fat, body fat is the first thing that you need to prioritize and focus on. So the higher the body fat percentage, the slower the metabolism, aka the more fat you have, the fewer calories you burn. You can take skinny fat vegan men and women 2 times as long to lose weight. So basically the traditional diet and exercise approach of eating less and doing more cardio will leave you skinny fat as a vegan. So let's talk about your metabolic adaptations. The VSA method, calories determine how much you weigh. Macros determine how you look, and micros determine how you feel. This is a very important concept to digest here. Calories work every time. For vegans, it's all about the correct math and science. The calorie deficit works every time. And no, you are not an exception. You are just not in a deficit. So you need to be in a deficit for a long enough period of time. Our vegan bodies are superior and magnificent. They are able to adapt very quickly. So this is why systems and structures are very important. Because our bodies adapt to our calorie intake and activity levels, then they make necessary adjustments like slowing down or stopping internal systems or slowing down physical activity. Our bodies do this in order to preserve calories. So when this happens, we are no longer in a deficit. So we must adapt and readjust to become once again in a calorie deficit. And the reason why our bodies do this is because our bodies do not care if we are in shape. They don't care if we are healthy or look good. They don't care if we're obese, if we're skinny fat. Our bodies only care that we survive another day. Body fat is survival. Because of this, our bodies will do anything and everything to hold on to body fat. You've never seen an obese person starve to death. It doesn't exist. That's what body fat is for, to prevent anyone from dying. We must strategize correctly and accordingly. We must understand this key concept because losing body fat can get dirty. And I'll go into what that means by why it gets dirty. What is measured is managed. Tracking is about ownership, not obsession. So be honest, not perfect. Let's be honest about our bodies and be real. What's measured is managed. And the best form of self-love is being really honest with where you are at and where you want to go. Real change starts with clarity. You can't improve what you don't track. And another way of thinking of this is not tracking is guessing. And guessing never gets results. Great results never come from guessing. They come from precision. So ask yourself, this is a very important question. How important is it to you to lose body fat and reach your goals? So let's get into it. If you're wanting to lose, 10 plus pounds of body fat, if you're wanting to do a body recomp and just get leaner and more defined without losing weight, if you want to build visible muscle and improve performance, if you want to be healthier, basically to go from skinny fat to vegan, to cover all this together, the first thing you need to do is lose that body fat. As you lose body fat, metabolic adaptations occur, some good and some are not so fun. That's what I talked about earlier when I said fat loss can get dirty. The dirty part is the metabolic adaptations, the negative metabolic adaptations. And that is we start getting grumpy, we get hungry, we get hangry, we lose energy, we start getting poor sleep, there's a lot of moodiness. The fun part of the negative metabolic adaptations is that you lose weight and you can see the body fat leave in your body. You're starting to fit clothes differently and you're starting to look differently and you're starting to feel more energy. Ideally, we want to lose body fat, right? Not just weight. So since our bodies love to hold on to body fat as a means of survival, we have to force fat burning and muscle retention. And this takes guided strategic effort. So the step-by-step blueprint to vegan fat loss and lean muscle. Alrighty. So fat loss is not about eating less and doing more cardio. It's about structure. It's about strategy. It's about consistency. So here's exactly how to start building a strong, lean, vegan fit body. All comes with awareness, right? Let me just put that out there right now. Awareness is huge. When you are aware, you are not the victim. You are taking ownership. So the first thing you need to do is calculate your TDEE. This is called your maintenance calories. TDEE stands for your total daily energy expenditure. This is the number of calories that you burn a day, in regards to what you do for work, how often you work out, your steps, all these different things, all your activity levels. And for your body, it's what your body burns, how many calories your body burns in a day. So to lose fat, you need to eat 200 to 500 calories less than this number. Not starve yourself. So you could use an online TDEE calculator like I put here in the link, or you could track your intake and wait over 1 to 2 weeks to find your average maintenance intake. I would definitely suggest that. You could do both actually to get the most accurate number. That's the first thing to do. Now, the next thing you do, once you have your TDEE number, you subtract that 300 to 500. You can do 200 to 500, but if you really want to start losing fat really quickly, I like to start people at 300 to 500 calories per day. So a 500 calorie deficit per day equals to roughly 1 pound of fat per week. That's a sustainable base. With some strength training, this protects your muscles and your energy level. Warning though, like I said here, more is not better. Bigger deficits increase cravings. It increases fatigue and it increases the risk of losing muscle. This is negative metabolic adaptations. So strategy is very, very important here. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3 is eat enough protein. That's a non-negotiable. Protein is critical for preserving the muscle mass that you have while you're losing fat for vegans, and most vegans underconsume protein by 50% or more. So your daily target is pretty simple to calculate. You multiply your body weight in pounds by 0.8 to 1.0. So this example here, 160 pounds times 0.9 gives a goal of 144 grams per day. 0.8 to 1.0, it depends on how active and how much you're working out. If you're working out, 5-6 days per week, if you're going really, really hard and heavy, different things at your intensity, go higher. And if you're not as intense in the gym, go on the lower end. And that's really where you want to be at. So 0.8 to 1.0 is a pretty good standard for most people, and suggest that you use tofu, tempeh, seitan, vegan protein powders, legumes, soybeans, and use those high protein mock meats to hit these numbers. There's a lot of amazing macro-friendly numbers out there and a lot of macro-friendly products. So step 4, lift weights 3 to 5 times per week. Muscle is your metabolism. The more you have, the more fat that you could burn all day, every day around the clock. To be a little bit more specific on your training should focus on full body strength workouts or upper and lower splits. You want to focus on compound lifts like squats, presses, rows, and hinges, and progressive overload. I can't stress that enough. Progressive overload is really, really important. It's the fact that you're getting stronger week to week. If you're not getting stronger week over week in some aspect, I'm not talking about just intensity, but progressive overload, something's wrong. You should be progressing week over week. Now, intentional intensity, not random circuits. I see this a lot. You want to be intentional with your intensity. Stop chasing sweat, start chasing strength. That's a really big aspect I want to highlight again. Stop chasing sweat and start chasing strength. Just because you're sweating a lot, just because you're out of breath, does not mean you had a really good workout. You had a really good workout if you're seeing the results week after week. The goal here isn't to be perfect, it's to be accurate enough, consistent enough, long enough to see real change. And there's multiple ways to monitor your progress. I suggest progress photos once per week. I suggest metrics, tracking your metrics. Measure your weight daily and measure your hips, waist, and chest weekly. Another way to monitor progress is how your clothes fit and, of course, how you look and feel in the mirror. And a big one that's not written down here is I like to highly suggest that you write down the weights that you use for your workouts. So that way you have a history of what you've been doing so you make sure that you are getting stronger. More reps, more sets, higher weights, which is intensity. Okay, let's get into it a little bit in regards to the 3 pillar of the vegan strength fat loss plan. So the proven VSA method is step 1 is fitness. You need to follow a vegan specific strength training routine. I got you if you click this link right here, it's a strength training routine. There are 6 days per week. That's a great place to start. You don't have to do 6 days per week. You could do 3 to 4 to 5 workouts per week. Just make sure you split it up well with upper, lower, something along those lines. Now you want to do full body strength or splits designed to change your body composition. Like I said, 3 to 5 days week, utilizing compound movements and progressive overload with moderate 60 seconds to 1 minute 20-second breaks and rest periods. If you don't need 1 to 2 to 3 minutes between your reps, you just didn't go heavy or hard enough with your last set. You want to make sure that you push yourself for that set heavy enough, great form, that you need at least 1 to 2, sometimes 3 minutes before your next set. If you don't need that much time, you didn't go hard enough that previous set. That's a big one. All right, progressive overload. Like I said earlier, increasing one of the following from the previous week is hugely important. That's how you know that you are getting stronger and you are getting better and results are going to happen. So progressive overload, that could just mean movement confidence and being more comfortable with the movement. That could mean tempo and better control. That could mean better mechanics. Just having better form in general, week over week, is progressive overload. RPE, ratings of perceived exhaustion, reps, sets, and intensity, which is weight. I would also suggest to add a 30-minute LIST cardio. That's low intensity steady state cardio workout per week. That could be walking, dancing, bike ride, whatever it is, treadmill, you choose. NEAT, that's non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This accounts for the majority portion of your daily calorie burn. Our workouts are only like 6 to 10% of our calorie burn. So you aren't at the gym to burn calories. You're at the gym to build strength. You want to control your calories by the foods that you take in. So with your NEAT levels, that's really, really important. You want to do and really focus a lot of your calorie burning with NEAT. So steps matters. Movement matters. Increase your current daily step count by 2,000 and add a 15 to 20 minute daily walk. Work your way up to 10,000 steps per day. Like I said, here is a free strength training guide for vegans. Click on that link and you'll have access to it. Focus on progression. Use the list above to make sure that something's changing week over week and track. All right, step 2 is nutrition. Implement a vegan protein-friendly nutrition strategy. Here is a link to our VSA Protein Blueprint. It's basically helps you make sure that you get enough protein per day, because sometimes these numbers are hard. A lot of, like I said earlier, protein is a major problem for a lot of vegans, and most vegans get 50% less than what they're supposed to get. So protein-friendly meals. Protein goal in grams divided by number of meals and snacks, that gives you your protein goal per meal or snack. So if you think about you're doing 5 meals per day and you need 150 grams per day of protein, that's 30 grams per meal. That's important to have, so that way you can keep track throughout the day. I would also suggest to stop snacking and grazing and eat 3 or 4 whole meals plus a snack or two. Be intentional. What I like to do is something called the VSA Snackle Box. The VSA Snackle Box is literally a box of weighed out and intentionally chosen snacks that I like to have throughout the day. So if I do feel, have some cravings or I want to snack on something, I've already measured these things out for my daily calorie goal, so I know that I'm able to and allowed to have all of this food in this Snackle Box, and I could just snack on daily. Your vegan muscle building and fat burning macros ratio. This is to nail the correct proportions of vegans that you'll also get you the biggest nutritional and metabolic boosting bang for each bite. And I suggest to start off with 50% of your calories coming from carbs, 25% from protein, and 25% from fats. Drink at least 3 liters of water per day. Balance your blood sugar for fat loss, and eat 25 to 30 grams of fiber every single day. It's a good rule of thumb is you want about 10 to 15 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories that you have as your goal. So most people have 16 to 2,500 calories per day. So 25 to 30 grams of fiber is great. Keep things simple with just 6 ingredients or less all those meals. And if you really want to learn how to take control of tracking your food and really taking that ownership of everything that you put into your mouth, attached here is the How to Track Like a Badass Vegan. This gives you tips and tricks on how to track with MyFitnessPal to make it as easy as possible and trying to build that habit. So log everything. Be honest, not obsessive. It's progress over perfection. One off-track day won't ruin your progress, but lying to yourself will. And I'm guilty of that for many, many years. So don't worry about the one day that you ruin your progress. Lying to yourself, that's what will ruin your progress and keep you from getting that body and losing that body fat that you've always wanted. So remember, when it comes to the vegan skinny fat body type, restricting your calories and under eating leads to skinny fat. And finally, step 3 is the mind. This is very simple, very common sense, but it's really easy to disregard. I can't prioritize how important these things are. So you need to prioritize rest, recovery, sleep, and stress management. I have an awesome routine where it comes to meditation and reading. Sleep 7 to 8 hours per night. Active recovery days for walking, Pilates, yoga, stretching, foam rolling. Sauna is an awesome way to recover. And listen to your body. Stay persistent and consistent for at least 6 weeks. A lot of people start and stop in the first week or two. Motivation is bullshit. It's all about discipline. So be disciplined to do this for at least 6 weeks and you will see amazing results. Track your progress, find accountability, celebrate big wins and small wins. All right. So a lot of information there. You have the document here. You have this video to watch over. The biggest thing is if this resonated with you, you're exactly who we created the Vegan Strength Academy for. If you're ready to stop winging it, get lean and muscular the vegan way, just the skinny fat struggle for good, we'll help you build a custom plan for your goals. I'll walk you through every step of this process. So if you enjoyed this, click here to apply to work with us in the VSA. Click this link right here to go to our website. That's also where you will find our application, and click this as well for the same thing. It's been great. If you have any questions, I hope to see you all in the Vegan Strength Academy one day. And regardless, lose that fat loss, be the vegan fit that you've always wanted to be and deserve to be.